just walking down the canal path, the first place we're going to have a look at is the 14th century tithe barn down here. You can just see us overlooking it here, and it's one of the largest tithe barns in Britain. Truly amazing. The lifestyle on the canal can be termed as being very bohemian, life at 4 miles an hour, which a lot of people like. So I'll now leave the bohemian lifestyle of the canal and come on down towards the tithe barn down these steps here. See the plaque on the wall here telling us all about it. So it says Barton Grange Farm, Grange of Abbess of Shaftesbury, who was given the land in 1001 by King Ethelred, and since the 1530s it has been working in private ownership until 1971, and in 2000 was turned over to the Preservation Trust. I'm at the front of the tithe barn, in which there are 2 entrances which go in, and I'll take the second entrance, and there is a reason for that as well. So 14th century tithe barn, where the monks held all the power, the church held all the power, and the people had to provide all the goods. And I've come in at this entrance because here there are what they call witches' marks on the wall. And these are the witches' marks, the circles you can see here. And here. Those are what are witches' marks. They used to put them there to ensure their safety. Then just scanning around over to this side here. Got a Roman sarcophagus there. So that's a Roman stone coffin there on the floor. And for a little bit of adventure, I'm actually going to try and get in the Roman sarcophagus. So if you... Roman sarcophagus, that I tried out for size and is too small for me. So I'll have to think again where I end up. How impressive it is. So it's 521 feet long, and it was built in the 14th century. And it's nice that you can see the cross illuminated through on the western side there, and the lovely ceilings going up above it. You can see all the oakwork buttress there. I think my favourite part about the tithe barn is the cross and the light shining through the cross-shaped window, and of course the intricate and fantastic roof. 14th century, unbelievable. So I'm going to move on from the tithe barn now and head my way towards another historical wonder. Then leave this area where there's this old pack horse bridge as well, and the river is the River Avon, and we'll be following the River Avon along and working our way on towards our next historical port of call. Railway bridge here on the Avon was where an original Roman ford crossed across here. And just across the river we can see the town high on the hill there above us, and it's all built around the hill there called Torry. There's some work going on a house there, but truly a lovely place. Then walk over this bridge here, and they call it the McKeever Bridge. This footbridge was renamed as a tribute to Ed McKeever from Bradford on Avon, Olympic gold medalist and sprint kayaker. That place for it, and goes over the River Avon. We look towards the old cloth mill and rubber mill at this stage, just there, and that does have a link to our historical destination. just behind the bushes here is the Saxon church, which we'll have a look at next. Truly amazing. This was a church that was lost for years and then refound when they were doing work. So it's an incredible place, and not very often that you can go into a true Saxon church. Oops. And already you can feel the difference in temperature. You can feel the difference in everything. And what I like about this church is if you look up, you've got the two angels up there above you, which is nice. And you come towards the altar here, which has obviously been heavily restored over the years. So there's like bits of it that are left. So it's not truly complete, but it still is a relic of the past, a part of our history, a hidden thing. You can hear the church bells outside, and that's the view going right the way up to the ceiling. Obviously the ceiling and things have been replaced over the years, and if you look at the walls, you've got these amazing chisel marks all over them. You can see there and see here as well. Look at those. So it would have been plastered at one stage. Forgive the creaking, I'm on a bit of wood, but it would have been that would have all been plastered and decorated. So the way you see it today is different than the way it was, obviously. And you've got a very small, plain Saxon font. And most Saxon fonts were plain and smaller than other ones, and they were re-chiselled, a lot of them, in the 1800s. So always when you're in these places, you get a feeling of peace and quiet and tranquility. And you can't beat that. And that all forms part of the history as you're going around. The Roman coffins, the witch markings on the walls, the canal, and there's still more to see as well. Left of the Saxon church up here, there's a video on YouTube about it, an old newsreel video. There's a man that lived here that used to make concrete teddy bears in his garden. This garden here was full of them. He was a retired railway worker back in the 1960s that made these bears that you can see here. And he was known as the Teddy Bear Man. And they've kept these bears in honour to him and their beautiful garden. If you look down, you can actually see the old cobbles there, which form part of the old river crossing at this stage. Amazing. On down this street towards the town centre. On through the shambles, which would have been a medieval meat market area. So this is their medieval meat market area that I'm going through now. And here it is, a truly fantastic thing. This machine called the Iron Duke. And you can see it up there, it says Iron Duke on there. Actually, people have lost their hands in these before, in a thing called the rubber nip. And this changed the world because of there's a nip there, just if you can see, which sort of put my hand, people used to get drawn into them. And obviously Spencer Moulton was the first to really do rubber vulcanizing. So stood in front of the Iron Duke. It's not the first time I've stood in front of a rubber mill. I spent a lot of my working life stood in front of rubber mills, watching people work and trying to ensure their safety and things. It's a truly incredible thing that changed everything as far as rubber was concerned by Spencer Moulton. So it is a machine that has changed the world, along with many others, things like bicycles and cars, but we wouldn't have the tyres on those if it wasn't for a machine like this. Truly, absolutely fantastic history. I think we'll move on from here now to another fantastic thing. and then look at wrapping it up, I think. Now cutting down through this old vault by this cafe, and Bradford on Avon is a very sort of up and coming, vibrant area for people that perhaps can't afford to live in Bath, come to live in Bradford on Avon, or it gives them a quieter feel than Bath. The area where the shops are was all part of the rubber factory as well, and was originally a cloth mill before it was turned into a rubber factory, and now serves an alternative life, so can't be bad. You can see the town bridge with its old lock-up on there, and was also another fording point as well, but truly a lovely bridge to see that over the River Avon, and actually sometimes floods here too. Come across a bridge to the Bridge Tea Rooms, and the Bridge Tea Rooms here is reputed to be the most haunted tea room in Britain, as there's been an apparition. The picture was taken of an apparition up in the top window, so that's an interesting fact for you, isn't it? So here was the spot where a ghost was spotted, if you believe in such things. But truly an incredible part of the history, and with all the traffic and everything around here, various people walking around, but that's what that is. That's the Bridge Tea Rooms. So the most haunted tea room in Britain, they believe. So with the canal behind me now, I'm going to be ending my small adventure in history, but looking at a machine that changed the world, looking at the tithe barn, looking at the Saxon church, but just generally having a good historical time in the town, which makes a change for me. So thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, goodbye.